right, well, hello, Next Pharma. I'm a first-timer, so nice to meet you all. I'm Alyssa Fenoglio, the Global Head of Digital Commercial at Teva. And in today's session, we're actually going to build on some of the facts and figures that Marco presented earlier, so thank you, Marco, for that great presentation. We're actually going to explore beyond the buzz, and what can we practically do to generate business value within the pharma industry. But of course, we're going to have a bit of fun first. So I want to know, what keyword are we looking at here on this screen? This is search popularity on Google. So probably not a surprise for any Swifties in the room or those following the Eras Tour, but this is Taylor Swift. So we have another celebrity popping up in the presentations today. So same question, different keyword term, and same chart, different data. So what is the term here? Well, this one is our friend AI. No surprise, this is the theme of the day, and the key thing is, how do these compare? So when you look at the results between Taylor and AI doubled in popularity in search terms over the same time period. That is, revolutionary, and the fact that AI is more popular than one of the top icons in the world. And so what does that mean for us? It means that the hype is actually real. AI is here to stay. So let's take a look back at technology, and technology builds upon each other. So when we look at Industrial Revolution 1.0, this is all about transitioning from manual labor to work done by machines, powered by steam and by water. Then we move to 2.0. We layer in electricity and the fact that we're increasing our production capacity and efficiency by the integration of electricity. So then 3.0. Now it gets interesting. Automation. This is the introduction of computers, IT systems, and of course, our friend AI. So in the 1950s is when scientists first came up with the computer test to compare computer intelligence to human intelligence. And this is really considered the founding of AI, all the way back in the 50s. So let's progress to Industry 4.0. Well, this is all about networking and smart factories and digital transformation. And that really brought with it the movement of Internet of Things, that brought with it advancements in large language models, machine learning. So then what's next? We're really in Industry 5.0 right now, and we predict that this is going to be headlined by the intersection, perfecting the intersection of humans and AI to be done in a responsible manner to strengthen society, to use it for good, not to destroy the world. So this really is where we're at. And we get to collaborate together to build what this next Industry 5.0 looks like. Okay, so AI at Teva. So for us, like many of you, we're implementing AI in many different facets of the company. Cross functions, we have it implemented in R&D, we have it in manufacturing, of course, just every day, simplifying our lives by using Copilot. What I'm going to focus on today is unlocking business value on the commercial side, which I know many of you in the audience will find applicable. And that all starts with, what is our strategy on the commercial side of AI? So for us to create business gold, number one, data first. So this is our anchor. This is the root of the tree. This is the trunk of the tree. It must be high quality. We need to have our data in one place. It needs to be cleaned. We need to make sure we're partnering with IT to have a data warehouse so that we're consolidating all of our commercial and customer data in one place. And this is garbage in, garbage out, right? So it's critical to get the data first before we ever layer in anything more exciting like AI. AI is very broad, and we'll go into the details of the specifics here, but for us, this is unlocking business value on top of the data. And then for us, above all, it's rooted into our purpose, which is to empower our people at Teva to build sustainable customer relationships and businesses for today and tomorrow. People is above all of it. So we root everything in people problems and business problems. So how do we convert data to dollars with data science? So data science is a specialty across all aspects of AI. And AI is broad, and this is a great visual to take a picture of. It's quite useful. We use it internally in all of our training sessions. And I'm going to simplify and decipher the buzzwords here. But I want to point out that data science, it's an expertise of people that use all of these different elements of AI to craft business solutions and business opportunities for people and for business. And I'll give you a couple cases here in a minute by what I mean by that, but they actually are creators, they're innovators, and they're integrating all of these disciplines together to solve people and business problems. So first, let's decipher just the words. And this is meant to be from macro to micro. So first we've got algorithms. This is just automated instructions, quite simply. Then we get down to AI. This is trying to simulate human intelligence. Then we move to machine learning, which is analyzing vast amount of data without explicit instructions. Deep learning, think of this as a digital brain. This is a vast amount of neural networks that are interconnected. It's a digital brain. Then we've got generative AI. Of course, this is the hot topic of the day. This is just generating outputs, quite simply. Large language models analyzing vast amount of text to generate text outputs. Then on the side, we've got natural language processing, which is analyzing and comprehending natural language. And then computer vision finally does the same thing for images and for videos. So you can see that by leveraging all the different elements of these disciplines together, it really creates business gold. So we've done a lot of experimentation at Teva over the last few years with regards to what works and what doesn't. And some of these success factors aren't just specific to data science cases, but also to other uses of AI. Firstly, we've talked a lot about human and business problems, and actually this is a great principle to apply for any digital transformation. If we're just forcing platforms and cool tech in our organizations without addressing people and business problems, then we failed. So for us, this is always number one. Secondly, direct P&L impact. We are all for-profit companies. So our goal is to tie to the top line and the bottom line. Are we reducing costs? Are we driving revenue? Are we making our sales and marketing spend more efficient and more effective? Then we move on scale. So for us, we go big and we go bold. So any sort of use case that we identify has to have scale potential to go much bigger than one country or one brand. Creating efficiencies. I think this was discussed in some of the presentations earlier. We want to unlock capacity of our teams to focus on more growth-oriented work. So we're very focused on automating manual processes and doing things that we can create more efficiency so that we can use the human brain for other types of value-add activities. High-quality data, that's a given. We've talked about that. Without that, it's not a starting case. Contracting with stakeholders. This is something that I don't think we talk about enough. We might dive into a great idea, implementing a platform, solving a business case, but what if we haven't talked to the GM, the marketing head, the IT head? So we've started to implement contractualizing across our entire team, anything related to digital transformation, commercial transformation, or AI transformation. So this is getting the GM on board, marketing head, IT, sales head. What are our joint KPIs? What does success look like in this partnership? And what are you responsible for? We need the partnership of our business teams to provide inputs, to provide their expertise in their customer and their markets. So that's a critical part of creating business gold. And then, of course, lastly, and just as important, is becoming compliant and mitigating risk. Now, we don't want to scare away our colleagues to not get started on the AI journey, but we've got to be compliant and make sure we're using it for good. Okay, so now I'm going to share two exciting real-life cases that we've applied at Teva with our data science team. The first one, the problem is all about pharmacists missing orders. Sounds simple enough, but you can imagine the business impact of solving this case globally with all product categories in all countries. So, in this case, the problem is not just the pharmacy, but the pharmacy cannot serve their patients, their customers, because they don't have the product in stock. And before, we were using more of a mass market approach for reaching our customers. So our data science team created a solution for this. Basically, it was an AI-fueled personalized marketing campaign with an automated end-to-end workflow that served up optimal product recommendations at the right time. So this is the blending of AI insights and also working with our in-house agency to execute this in Salesforce Marketing Cloud and our omnichannel approach. So again, we're blending disciplines, not just in data science, but within digital transformation. So the outcome here, I think, will excite anyone who works in a for-profit company. Firstly, we improved the customer experience. So we did this in a couple ways. Firstly, the pharmacist receives the communication right place, right time when they need to order the product. Hence, when their customer patient comes into the pharmacy to get the product, it's available. They don't have to go searching through their inbox looking for that old email to place the e-commerce order with us. So that's a simple improvement. And we both serve the patient, and the patient's happier. They went into the pharmacy, they got the product. Quite simple. Importantly, too, it impacted the P&L. So we saw an increase in turnover. If you look at a product-pharmacist combination, from 0.25% to 1%. That is direct P&L impact, and you can imagine the scaling of that across geographies and across brands is monumental. So that's the first case. The second one, I love this story, and we do need humans to interact with AI. So this is our head of data science having coffee with the head of pharmacovigilance, talking about pain points and the fact that with the rise of e-commerce and digital data, there's a lot of user-generated content out there for our PVG colleagues to screen, right? Because we're supposed to be reporting on and monitoring adverse events. That's a lot of manual work. So our data science team took that upon itself to solve this business problem. So what they did is they took a pre-trained large language model called Roberta. They refined it using user-generated content as well as medical lexicon, and the output outperformed ChatGPT. So when they compared accuracy of ChatGPT to our new model, outperformed. So this has monumental implementation impact within the company. We're just in the process of integrating it into our PVG processes. We're looking to scale to other geographies, other brands, other product categories. So two very practical and different examples of how you can take AI and make it work for you and for your business. So of course, those two questions are not the only questions we're answering. We have implemented data science use cases such as these all across the top markets that we serve at Teva. I'd say we're most advanced in Europe, so we have quite a lot of university partnerships here, a lot of great talent coming in with really smart ideas, and we've answered a lot of other questions. So how strong will the next flu epidemic be? How high will future prices be? What's the optimal spend in pharmacies? How high will our future sales be? You can imagine any business question, we can go and start to evaluate, can we apply data science to answer this in a quantitative way, in a smart way? Of course, it doesn't come without risks. So we have to talk a little bit about the current risks that we're seeing with regards to Gen AI specifically. But first, we have another celebrity here who's going to tell us that not everything that's gold will glitter. So let's talk to Elon just for a second.
Hi, next Pharma Summit audience. Here is what we need to consider. The development of artificial intelligence could either be the worst or the best thing that ever happened to humans. It is crucial that we use this technology with caution and foresight to minimize potential risks and ensure that it contributes to the well-being of humanity. So let's have a look at current challenges and risks with generative AI. Alyssa, please go ahead.
Pretty good. Not necessarily deep fake, though, right? Good yet. But anything Elon says, we listen to, hopefully, sometimes. So risks with Gen AI. I think, firstly, it's not a human. This is why human-AI interaction, we believe, is going to be Industry 5.0. In this case, it doesn't have ethics. It doesn't understand legal standards. So this is why, again, we have to make sure that a human is partnering with any sort of AI output. No security of internal data. So I think a few other presenters have mentioned Copilot. Now, with Microsoft Copilot, that is safe data because that is working off our company data. But the second that we go external with a ChatGPT or a Canva or Adobe Firefly or Gemini, we don't know where that data is stored. We don't know how it's being used. We've seen plenty of cases with creators having trademark issues. So it's definitely an area to be cautious of. Decisions are unexplainable. Where did this answer come from? it makes it up, and it's a bit of a black box. So, sometimes it's better at sourcing exactly where the answer is coming from, but other times we're not quite sure. So you just have to be aware. It's not a person, so it doesn't understand emotion, personal experiences. So again, this is why coupled with human, has a lot more potential. And there's a risk of false information. So garbage in, garbage out. If it's trained on biased data, it will give you biased answers. And there's a risk of hallucination. So it will give you an answer, we just don't know if it's a good answer. So it's important to be aware of these. But we shouldn't be afraid of getting our teams started on AI within our companies. So we've done a few things, and we've basically asked our employees to join us on the learning journey together. I think there was a comment about failure. We don't see it as failure, we see it as learning always. Maybe that's my American positivity. Failure to me is learning. And in our case, we are actively, while we are learning the policies and what works, what doesn't, we're launching things. We are launching Data and AI Academy, which is virtual modules. We've launched prompting training, AI training with a lot of our commercial teams. Now, other functions are getting in the mix as well. We've launched Copilot across the company. We're still learning what that means. It's not perfect. I think I have a lot of feedback on the customer experience from a user, but it does make us more efficient to unlock some capacity to work on other things. And then, of course, we're working with legal, we're working with IT, other functions, R&D, to create this governance and principles and golden rules for the company. So I'd encourage all of you to get your team started now, even though we don't have all the answers. That's okay. So today's takeaways, golden takeaways, of course. Firstly, AI aims to enhance humans, so I don't expect it to replace. Humans always evolve. We're not robots. So I do think that we will evolve. It will require new skills and capabilities, which was mentioned earlier. And we need to be agile. If you're not agile and you're not learning, you will be left behind. Firstly, when we think about applying it, data has to come first. It's not the most fun, sexy topic to talk about data, but it's mandatory. It is the fuel for everything we do with AI. So you've got to get your data house in order. And then, above all, it's people. So nothing should be done without thinking about our patients, our employees, and the business problems we're trying to solve. Everything should apply to business problems and people problems. And let's get started. Empower your teams to get started now with what we know to be ethical and responsible. So it's my first time here. I would love to connect with you all as we go through the next couple days. I wanted to also invite you. Many of you are members of the World Federation of Advertising, which is basically representing cross-industries, including pharma, including consumer, including travel, including banking, everything. And there's a new AI committee that they've kicked off. So I'm part of the SteerCo, and we've now created this AI community where we'll be sharing golden rules, best practices, use cases, and you're able to engage and to submit your own ideas into this community. It just kicked off. So that's June 25th if you want to join, and thank you all.